Welcome to SAP SD Configuration. My name is Keith Milford, and I am your instructor. In this lecture, we will cover Customer Account Group, which another way of saying that is types of customers. We're going to jump right into SAP to see some examples. To create a customer, use T-code XD01. In this first example, we're going to make a prospective customer in one of the sales areas we created. Required fields are shown with a box and check mark. Let me fill in some example information for those fields. I should fill in all the information that is available at this time. But for this example, I'm going to go to the sales area data right now. Okay, I want you to take note. There's not much here to fill out. For the fields that are here, I can go ahead and fill them in if I want to. But notice there's only a limited number of fields and there's only one tab. Okay, so let's wrap up this prospective customer and press save. SAP has assigned customer number 100237 to our new customer. Now let's compare that to if we use an account group of a sold to. We're going to keep the sales area the same and see what happens. Okay, so this screen looks pretty similar. The difference is on this screen it wants a transportation zone as well. Let's go see what the sales area data looks like. Okay, so there are a lot of fields here. On top of it, I also see other tabs here. Clicking through the tabs, some of these fields are even required, so I have to fill them in if I want to save this customer. That means I have to click through each one of these tabs just to be sure I am filling in all required information. Alright, so let's wrap this up. And let's take a look as to why a prospective customer is so much different than a sold to. Navigating to Configuration, type in SPRO, hit Enter. Click on SAP Reference IMG. This configuration can be found in a couple places, but we will look at it in Logistics General, Business Partner, Customers, Control, and then we see Define Account Groups and Field Selection for Customers. Okay, so here are the possible account groups. We see our prospective customer. Let's dive in. Near the top, we see number range. In a different lecture, we cover how to create a number range, but let's see what this one says. So SAP will give prospective customers a number between this range. You can also indicate to SAP that this type of customer is only used one time. And the field status area allows us to determine what fields are going to show in the customer master. To get into the sales area data, we see a list of groups. Let's look at the group sales. On the left-hand side, we see descriptions of fields that SAP has provided so that we can put it on the customer master if we want. On the top, SAP is telling us what these radio buttons are representing. So for prospective customers, most of these fields are suppressed, meaning that they will not show on the customer master. And then we have a few that are optional, like sales group, customer group, sales district, and so on. None of the fields here require the user to enter a value when creating a prospective customer, but you can change that here if you want. Now let's go look at a different tab called Shipping. We see all the fields in this tab are suppressed, meaning SAP won't even show that tab in the customer master for prospective customers. All right, great. Let's go compare that to a sold to. We find sold to in the list, double click, and let's go to the sales data as we did before. We navigate to sales. Okay, so a lot of the fields are optional. That's why you see them on the screen. And we do see a couple that are required for the user to enter. Let's now go look at the Shipping tab. For the prospective customer, all these fields were suppressed, so you didn't even see it in the customer master as a tab. But for the sold to, a lot of these are available, and in fact, one is even required. Okay, so I want to go back to the customer master and compare the two customers that we created. I will create a couple of new sessions so that we can toggle back and forth between the customer masters. So this is our sold to. Let me go to the sales tab so we get a nice comparison. And I go to T-code XD03 to see the customer master of the prospective customer, which was this customer right here. So I'm just highlighting that when I toggle between these two customers, the same tab has different fields, and this was entirely controlled by the configuration we were looking at. Now, let's imagine that we want to make one of these fields on the prospective customer a required field. We will go back to the configurations and go ahead and change the prospective customer to make the sales district a required field. So let's go back, select our prospective customer, click on the sales data, finally click on sales, and we're going to make the sales district a required field in the customer master. So we will save this, give it a transport. Okay, so let's go back to the customer master for this prospective customer, and let's go into change mode. If I move the cursor off of sales district, we see, yes, sales district is now required for a field. If I try to save, SAP is going to prevent me because it wants a value. So let me just put in some random value here. Now when I try to save, SAP likes that this field has a value and it lets me proceed. But that was just for demonstration purposes. I don't really want to make that a required field. So let me go back here and I will change this back to an optional entry. Let me save. Okay, so I will go back to the customer master, go ahead and change this field to be blank again. And let's see, yep, it is not required anymore, and I will save. All right, so I want to go back to the configuration for a moment. And if you remember, we had a handful of account groups or customer types that we were allowed to use. Within our list, we had the sold to and the prospective customer, but you can use the new entries button to create whatever customer types you want. At this time, I want to talk about upgrading customers. So for example, our prospective customer in the future may have to become a sold to. So let's go ahead and take our prospective customer number here and let's upgrade it. Now to upgrade, we use transaction XD07. We put in the customer number that we want to upgrade and we press enter. SAP gives a little information on the current account group and the extended sales areas. Let's press the green check mark to say let's proceed. And SAP provides a drop down for us to choose the new account group that we want to use. So let's choose sold to. When I press the green check mark, SAP gives us a list of fields that are required for the sold to, but we never filled out for the prospective customer. So it's going to have us go and fill in that information. At this time, you can fill in whatever information you want. Just be sure you fill in the required fields or else you will not be able to save. You need to go to each of the tabs and fill in at least the required fields. You should fill in all the other information too if you have it. Don't be lazy like me. Fill in this information. Okay, so I think on the general data there was one field as well. Yeah, there's the transportation zone that we never filled in, so let's put it in the southeast. So when we press save, we have officially changed this customer from a prospective customer into a sold to. Okay, so we will go back to the customer master just to validate that this all happened correctly. Let me go into XD03 T code. That is the customer number for our original prospective customer. I will go look at the account group by going to Extras, Administrative Data, and yes, the account group is now a sold to. So does that mean you can change any account group to any account group? For example, with a prospective customer, maybe we upgraded to a sold to on accident. So let's go back into T-code XD07 and try to change this customer back into an account group of a prospective customer. SAP is telling me it's currently a sold to. I want to change it into a prospective customer. And when I press the green check mark, SAP is telling me I can't do this transformation because there's a bunch of fields that are in the sold to that are not available in the prospective customer. So that's why they refer to this as an upgrade, because usually you can only upgrade one direction but not the other. Okay, so I think we can wrap up this lecture on customer account group. Thank you very much. My name is Keith Milford, and I hope you enjoyed this video.